3, 2. All right, we're back.
We're a mess.
Nothing's where it's supposed to be because we've been busy as shit all morning.
Oh, it's been nonstop.
That's probably going to make your camera go away.
It did.
It did. Let's see if it pops back up on its own. I hate this. Burn this fucking studio to the ground.
Nickelback wrote a song about that. Burn it to the ground. Dun, 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 dun.
There we go.
All right. Hey, guys. It's me. Hello. Welcome.
All right. Today has been an absolute shit show. You are way big.
I'm like a titan.
All right.
Are you ready
Sorry
now?
about the disaster piece that is our life right now. Pulled an 18-hour day yesterday. Got most of everything I needed to get done. Spent most of the morning editing. Was up until 2 o'clock in the morning last night editing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Studio's is in fucking disarray. Like total disarray.
Oh, it's a mess right now. Yeah. I got all the shirts packed. I got all the books packed. I did my contribution with my broken arm.
Yep. And I got Jacob coming back tonight to help me move the rest of the shit.
Yes?
He said yes.
Perfect.
So we have a whole bunch of shit that's got to be moved around the studio. I'm probably going to leave the little refrigerator for Jordan since we have a full-size fridge at the house.
That makes sense.
I'm leaving the big table, and I think I'm leaving one of those white couches.
Okay.
But Jacob's going to help me move these tables, the vinyl cutter, and the 2 white chairs tonight, and then the rest of this small shit I can do throughout the day. So,
excuse me.
So there we are. Now you guys know what's going on. Life is a disaster piece. But it's a disaster piece in a good way. It's controlled chaos. Doing stupid shit in safe scenarios. How's everybody's day going? I saw somebody earlier mention that there was a TikTok ban. I guess that passed the House.
Yeah, I guess they passed it, and now it's...
So it's got to go to the Senate next, and then it's got to go to the delusional old man. I don't believe that TikTok will actually get banned. I think it'll get forced to be sold to a U.S. corporation, which means Meta and Google will probably buy it. And then that'll end up destroying what TikTok is. And it will give Google, Alphabet Inc., and Meta even more power than they already have. Yep. And all of the arguments that are being made about TikTok and the things that is happening with TikTok is shit that Meta has been doing for years.
Right.
It's what Alphabet Inc. has been doing for years. They do it through YouTube. The only difference is they're not making money on it, and TikTok is $100 billion a year industry.
That's insane.
Yeah. This entire buy comes down to control because major news doesn't report on anything that's happening in the world when there's uprisings and things like that. And people are getting information off of TikTok.
I mean, yeah, that's how I find out shit going on in France and
Germany, Denmark, all of the shit that's been going on with the fucking food things in the EU. Like, we get a lot of world news from TikTok from people who are on the ground. It's a whole lot.
That live there.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. How's your elbow doing, babe? Somebody asked.
It's healing. I took it out of the sling. It's at that stage where it's always uncomfortable. Like no matter where I put it,
I see
sucks.
you moving it though, which means it's getting better.
I am definitely moving it. I was able to put on my bra by myself today, guys. So I was neat. Still can't do my hair, although I did ask my husband to continue doing my hair, even though my elbow's healed, because I like how he does it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Somebody told me today that it passed the House. I have not looked, so I don't know if it actually passed. I'm assuming that it did. The News Girl is a reliable source. The News Girl is kind of a reliable source. She's biased. She has affiliations with major news networks, and her content has switched from being neutral to not neutral anymore. Although I still follow her because it gives me things to Google and research on my own. So it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to do some emails this morning. I'm assuming that's what you guys are here for and what you want. We'll do a couple emails. If you guys send super chats, we'll be reading those after the emails so that we don't have to interrupt the podcast. And then we will get into some Q&A before we wrap up, I think.
It is so hard to open this fan with a broken arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This feels heavy in my hand right now. This is crazy.
It passed. Watched it live on TikTok. So there you go. It did pass. Is TikTok reliable for other world news, though? It is, because the people that are there that are reporting on it are normally on the ground. You guys, if you guys have a non-biased news outlet, something that you watch that does not lean left or right, I would like that. I don't want opinion pieces.
I just want the information.
Right. I want to be able to make my own decision on
Right.
what's actually happened. Not, well, I feel and so-and-so's a piece of shit and da-da-da-da-da, because that doesn't help me. I don't
Right.
need you to give me your opinion. I need you to give me the facts.
I think everything on the internet, including our content, should be taken with a grain of sand, which I know is not the way to say that, but I like it because sand is tinier than rice.
Yeah. Salt.
Yeah, salt.
Grain of salt.
Salt, sand,
Salt. Salt is the term. Sand is what you choose.
rice is
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Chris, can we see what your shirt says? You guys really like my shirts. I feel like I should have a different shirt every podcast. Like I'm going to have to buy a shirt twice a week just to have something new that you guys have never seen.
Yeah.
But my shirt says DILF. Devoted, involved, loving father. We have one coming out with red pill threads. It's going to say proud.
Yeah.
And it's going to say protective, respectful, overseeing, understanding dad. So,
like that.
And it's trademarked, so don't try to fucking steal it, people.
I had to think of one for mom.
Yeah.
Or mother.
Yeah. We could do proud and just change the first word to parents, but
Yeah, we could. Or I could just have one that says, "This is my mom" shirt, and on the back of it, it's just screaming.
yeah, yelling,
Yeah.
uncontrollable yelling.
Just screeching.
Somebody said Daily Wire, question mark. Daily Wire is right-leaning. And though I do watch them from time to time, it forces me to go watch left-leaning shit so that I can find the actual story because
Right.
both are opinion pieces. I don't want that. I want unbiased information. Today, the House passed blah, 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 period. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need your opinion on the matter. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. I need to go, okay, well, what's the bill? And then I can go do the research myself, and then I can form my own opinion that's not convoluted with somebody else's bullshit.
Can you help me with my hair, babe?
You just want me to put your hair back.
It's starting to piss me off on my shoulders. I can feel it tickling me. Oh, yeah. My hair is getting long.
I think this is what you want.
I mean, thanks for joining this live stream, guys. We will see you on Wednesday.
You want it in a bun?
Yes, please.
Today is Wednesday, by the way.
I thought today was Sunday. That's how much you fucked me up. Wow.
Do you think Candace Owens is unbiased? No, I don't.
I think that Candace is very biased.
I do too.
Yeah.
Somebody said 1440 News. I watched that. The problem with 1440 News is I have to read a lot of the articles that come on there, and I don't have time to read it. I need snippets so that I can choose what I want to read and what I don't. But Amber Payne, you're right. 1440 is the most non-biased news. All right, let's do some emails, hotness.
Okay.
God, there's so much shit to do today.
I know. All right. This one is titled Lessons for Life Taught Well. Hello, Chris and Peaches. To say I'm fangirling would be an understatement. Oh, wait until you see that we actually read your email. I am absolutely giddy writing this email and hope it gets to you guys. I'm on the younger side. I'm only 21 years old, but I would like to think that I'm emotionally mature. I like to think that I am emotionally mature. Fart jokes will always be funny to me too. I feel like we've read this.
We might have.
Because the fart jokes, I remember that.
Are you saying that you have not been moving things after we read them?
No, I am 100% moving things. I don't know if it's glitching or...
Hit refresh.
I did before
Okay.
you came over here and searched.
It's funny.
I have gotten myself into the habit of making sure I move emails. I'm doing the thing, guys. Pardon me. Okay, we're back. My dad was a veteran for 8 years in the Army.
I do think we read this.
Right.
Okay. Find a different one, babe.
All right, moving it on. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it.
Move it.
We like to move it. Dun 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 dun. I want to go dancing. If I wasn't broken, that would be dope. This one is titled Check-in/Thank You. Good morning, good people. I just wanted to email in and check in with you two. I feel like so many of us, myself included, had come down to you for advice. So this is me, probably like some others that are wondering how you two are doing. Especially with all this change. Stop it. Are you checking in with us?
That's what it sounds like.
Stop it. This isn't like a check-in. I'm about to cry.
Well, at least you got that tissue up there to catch the snot when it rolls down your face.
I'm about to cry because this email is literally just about making sure we're okay.
Yeah. Read it. It's probably because people think that I beat you. Hold on.
Fucking wild. Stupid. How has becoming influencers changed your life? And was it in a good way or a bad way?
I enjoy our life. I think it's in a good way.
It's definitely changed our life. There is nothing that motivates you to become a good person like having millions of eyes on you.
Yeah. It also has made our job
fun
to like create content about being better, which means in turn we have been practicing all the shit we've been reading.
Yeah.
I think the amount of growth that we've done in the last year between the two of us is probably more than people will see in a decade.
Oh, I feel like I've aged a century.
We've got a whole lot of information that we would have never had before. And it's not just reading, it's about breaking down what we've read and having discussions, trying to improve it to make it relatable so that we can pass it to other people in a way that's not jargon. But on another side of things, because we lost 2 of the businesses from Hurricane Ian, the podcast helped us get through last year. It didn't make that much of a difference.
No, but it supplemented.
It supplemented what we lost. Well, some of what we lost.
I saw somebody ask about it.
Oh, shit.
We did it.
That's the 3rd time that's been done on the podcast.
It has. I hope it tickled you guys the way you hope it would when you asked.
Train of thought just derailed and exploded.
Yeah, I could see how that would do it.
We had supplemented some of the income that we made. We turned this into an actual business, and now I have been able to. We reopened one of our tattoo shops Tuesday. We passed inspections Monday.
Yeah.
And though that was my business and I opened it and did all the thing, I gave 80% ownership to somebody else so that I don't have to be involved anymore. And I got mailbox money coming in.
Yeah.
And I would not have been able to do that with that business if it wasn't for this podcast. So if it continues to grow the way that it's doing, this could become a full-time thing for us. And I might be able to step away from other businesses and as we get into coaching and mentorships and traveling and all of that shit. So like the podcast it's changed our lives in a lot of facets. Our faith is stronger than it's ever been. Like, we've created
made me a better parent.
Right. Same. We've created a whole lot of new bonds with people that we probably would have never met otherwise, which is probably the biggest part of this because we've got new relationships with people. Yeah. And we've been able to employ friends and do shit like that. So it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
You want to continue reading?
Sure.
Alrighty. Oh, excuse me. Has it changed your dynamic and has it made you grow? One-on-one and as a couple.
I muted myself. Somebody real quick said, cephality. I know this isn't related to the current topic, but I've been courting someone and they we have gone through part of the list of questions you guys recently put up. Thank you. I stopped you because I've been waiting for somebody to make it through that list and send us an update. If you have done the questionnaire on a date with somebody that you were courting, send us a fucking update email. Questionnaire answered, and then give us a rundown of how it went. I want all of the nitty-gritty details. I want to see if they were annoyed.
Did they get mad?
Right. I want to know the details of how that worked, but you have to have been able to get through the entire questionnaire because we've had other people just fucking straight up get up and walk out of the interview.
Yes,
or
they
the
have.
questions.
The questions, yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead, babe.
Okay. How would you say that this has changed our dynamic?
I am a very defensive person because I've had to be my entire life.
Right, for survival.
And I don't get defensive nearly as much as I used to. I would say that my defensiveness is down 90% now.
Yeah.
And that's me blowing smoke up my own ass. I don't know, but I want to know why you're feeling the way you're feeling way more now than me trying to protect my fragile ego. I think that's my biggest takeaway in terms of how it's changed our dynamic because we don't argue. We haven't had an argument in almost a year.
Yeah.
A disruption.
Yeah.
Right. The one thing that we had that was an issue was us trying to have a covert conversation in front of other people that fell apart and it didn't work and it ended up making us both angry.
Yeah,
But it wasn't a fight. Like it
No.
wasn't a disruption in our day. It was hey, we really should have waited until we got home to have this talk.
Oh, no, that was a disruption in my day.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I was crying in the car. Yeah. Which, if you know me, oh, God, here we go. Oh, my God, he made his wife cry. No, guys, I cry at frogs. Don't even start with that. I am so fragile. I put my crying face on a shirt.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it happened.
We need to actually get that because we had people requesting to buy that shirt.
Really? Stop it. You guys want to wear my crying face on a shirt?
I have to get with Garrett and have him create that for Red Pill Threads.
That's hilarious. I love that.
So.
I agree.
What about you?
Well, for me, I agree with what you said. I've noticed that change in you because in the beginning of our relationship, it was very much, why are you getting defensive so quick? Like what? Like was it? Did I say something wrong? Like what was it? And now, one thing that was a big hang up for both of us was that I need physical reassurance. I just need reassurance when I'm really fucking going through it. And if we're both going through it, it's a lot harder for that to happen.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I don't like being touched, especially when I'm angry. So I've noticed like you have made it a point to go, come here, and you hold me. And even though in that moment, if I want it and I know you don't, I don't want it to do it. But I know that in order for it to be a thing, we had to get through those points of, right.
He's uncomfortable right now, but he wants to give me what I need in this moment, and I have to give him that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me anymore.
That's good.
So,
in myself, my biggest takeaway is that I don't take anything personally anymore. I mean, I still do. Of course, I still do. I have my bad days, and my mental is just not right, and I do take something personally. I need that reality check. But when you're having a hard day, I don't even have to ask you if it's something that I did because I know you would tell me. So if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I just go, hey, babe, how did you sleep last night? And you go, I didn't sleep well. All right, dope. It's one of those days. I'm going to be as accommodating as I can be and make sure his life is comfortable. And if another thing arises, if I can help problem solve, I'll do that. But I'll just continue being your wife.
Yeah. I have vernacular now to explain things that I didn't have before because of the podcast and the books that we've read. So for those of you who are in our Patreon, you saw, I hope you watched the I versus you statements because that was a phenomenal back and forth between you and I.
Oh, it was so good.
We're going to be doing a part 2 of that, but part 2 of that is going to talk about flooding. And flooding is not something I understood. It's not a term that I would have ever been able to understand. But understanding what that is now is basically us going, hey, I'm overstimulated, or I need a minute. I'm not able to process right now. So we've been able to, and we'll really break that down when we record next week and do that episode. That'll go live to YouTube in April. But that's also been helpful because when I'm already feeling overwhelmed or I'm already starting to get annoyed by things that's not you or not the kids, I'm able to articulate that now in ways that you're able to understand it. That doesn't make me bottle it until I'm ready to explode.
Right.
So that eliminates a lot of that defensiveness or the hostility or the frustration, because when I start to feel flooded, I can be like, hey, I'm feeling flooded. And you're like, okay, got it. Kids, let's go play outside. You know what I mean? While I'm working or whatever. That's going to be
instead of overwhelmed.
It's a lot. Overwhelmed is probably the base level explanation of what that is. But when you get flooded, it's very hard to understand or process.
So I get stupid.
You do get stupid. Yeah, by definition, when you get angry, your IQ points drop.
Right, yeah. That's when you're at your weakest, is when you're angry.
Right. So when you get to that point and you're not able to effectively process your emotions or think about things, we've always just been like, we're processing. Mm-hmm. Because that gets the other person to leave us alone until we're able to actually articulate what we need to fix the problem. So there's a lot of that. I can't wait to do that. I'm excited about this series from the I versus you. There's a lot in that.
Me too.
A lot of breakdown that's coming.
The first thing that came to my mind, if I'm in I have not heard the term flooding before, so this is going to be a new conversation for me. Mm. And hearing that, though, the first thing that came to my mind, if I'm in a moment, because I have moments like that where I'm just, like, you touch me, I'm going to scream. Like that. And the only thing that came to my mind was, I'm mad and I'm dumb right now. Leave me alone. Because when I'm not at my highest IQ intelligence, we are not going to have a good conversation. Right. We are not going to have a good dinner. Like,
your emotional mind thinking.
Yeah.
And everything is a fucking problem because you're basing it solely off of what you're feeling. I also think one of the other things that we've learned through all of this is that we are not seeing the world through the same lens.
Right.
And like, your life and my life is not the same thing. So when we expect each other to know what the fuck is going on or expect to see that this needs to be taken care of, that doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. And I can be like, hey, did you notice? And you'd be like, nope. And I'm like, okay, well, I noticed. And then we can have a discussion about it versus you never do the fucking dishes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so that's been a big deal. Somebody asked if it's affected the way that we deal with the kids.
Yes. So growing up, anger and yelling were the tools that I was shown to use to handle situations. When I became a mom, as an adult, like those tools matured with me. I did not find new tools. And I was very short-tempered and I was always frustrated with my kids. And then I had my like rediscovery time where I did get a little bit better and like my yelling was calmed down, and I started recognizing that like this is their childhood. What I do in their childhood is going to be their image of me for the rest of their lives. And I do not want to be remembered as the mom who yelled about everything.
Right.
Or the mom who, if I was asked a question, I would yell my response because how dare you ask me a question when I'm in the middle of something, right? I didn't want to be remembered that way.
We actually just talked about this the other night. We don't want to be the parents that when the door gets closed, the kids just behind the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking bitch. Can't,
Right.
Fucking hate you.
Right. We don't want to be those parents.
Right.
Yep.
So,
You guys have all done that to your parents.
yeah. And like, if my kids want to do that to me, I would rather you do it to my face and I know that's what you're feeling versus you doing it behind a closed door and bottling that shit and I don't know what's going on with you.
Right.
Like, I fully plan on implementing with the children. Like, you can experience your raw emotion, and in your raw emotion, you can say one thing to me. Anything outside of that, I will slap you because that's what's going to happen in real life. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But just know, like, I will accept your raw emotion, and I will go, okay, I heard that. Fuck you. All right, I made you mad. I get it. Now let's take a fucking breath because now I'm getting heated. Now I'm the adult here. We got to...
That's a great way to learn how to process their emotions, though, because
Right.
once they understand they can get that out, then we can teach them how to handle it. Like,
Right.
okay, I understand that that's what you're feeling now. Let's process that so we can find a better way to say it. So in the future, because you're not going to get a warning in life, you say fuck you to
Yeah.
your boss, you're getting fired, right? So like,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
It's definitely made me more patient all around as a human being. And I don't know, I've had like an existential crisis about being alive and what it means to be alive and have a soul and have a consciousness and have an influence on other people's lives. And I don't know. I have heard people say absorb every minute you have with people because one day it'll be gone. And it's that super cliche that you hear.
It's a gimmick.
It's a fucking gimmick. But I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
I heard something. I'm going to start crying. I heard something
course
this
you are.
morning. Of course I am. I wish I brought my shirt. I was scrolling. I'm trying to stay away from TikTok. So I've moved to YouTube Shorts because I feel like I get more information because like Jordan B. Peterson is on YouTube. And
He's on TikTok too.
I just don't see him as much. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And I don't like going to my follow page
Yeah.
because then it's just all Jordan B. Peterson. I want to see
Other things.
I want to see other things, but similar content from other people. I want different perspectives.
Yeah.
And a video came up of a 80-year-old man going to his neighbor's house, and he knocked on the door and the wife answered, and he was like, "Is your husband home?" And she was like, "No, he's on a work trip right now." And like the old man looked defeated, and he was like, "Oh, I couldn't open this jar. Like I needed help." And the wife was like, "Oh, I can do that." And she was like, "Let me get that jar." And the old man was like, "Thank you. I don't have any more friends."
He was making a request for connection with his neighbor.
Right. But like I really thought about that. And I was like, okay, well, like I get like one day all my friends will be gone. But like one day my kids are going to have families. And you're not going to be here. What am I going to do in my old age? Right? Because I can't expect my kids to be around me 24/7 when you're not here because I'm lonely. They have their own lives to attend to. They're going to have children or pets or businesses or whatever they have going on. They're going to have their own life to live. 95% of the time you spend with your kids is going to be in their childhood. So it is very much a cliche thing to say, absorb every minute you have because you don't know when it's going to be gone. Our son's a first grader next year. I remember standing at the very tippy top of a massive wooden
months.
playground.
5 months, not next year.
In 5 months. I remember standing on a playground and yelling for my dad to look at me. And I was like, Dad, look at me. I'm a first grader now. I'm a bad bitch. Like, and now that's my son. It's crazy. And that's one of the only memories I have with my dad. I don't want to be that parent either. Yeah. I don't remember why I started on all of that, but I'm crying now, so.
Because of the questions.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to get back into reading.
Okay.
So many of us love the growth you've been through and look up to the hurdles you've gone through in life. It is one example of the bad times bringing good vibes. A lot of people focus on the bad, but there is so much to be grateful for in this big world we live in. I know your whole following is grateful for you. If people haven't told you already, I'm proud of you. We are proud of you, so thank you. Peaches, I'm not crying, you're crying.
No, you're both crying.
JK, I'm crying too. Good luck this year, wishing you all of the best. That was a really good email, guys. I kind of want a group hug, but I'm also going to shout, don't touch me.
That's funny.
I was recording a video that no one will ever see because it's deleted now. But I was standing there making cough syrup for our kids. And I was looking out our massive bay window. And I was talking about the palm fronds. Because I don't, some people don't know what a palm frond is. It's like a palm tree minus the palm, so it's just the frond. Out the ground. And I was standing there and I was looking, our backyard is just woods. And there's tall oak trees and pine trees, but it's littered with these palm fronds. And it's spring, so there's this really vibrant green in the ferns, the leaves. And then some of them are really, really golden because we didn't have a lot of rain through the winter. And I was watching the wind blow the palm fronds, and I'm making cough syrup for our kids. And you had just come in and did something flirty with me, and I'm looking at these palm fronds. And I was like, holy shit, I'm happy to be alive right now. It's crazy.
You know that I didn't delete that footage.
You didn't?
No, it's on my computer still. It just hasn't been edited yet. And I may put it together with no edit and just release it to Patreon. It's like 45 minutes of you being
just a mess,
baked and having fun in the kitchen.
Oh, it's not baked. I'm on pain meds.
Yeah, well, there you go. Somebody did ask earlier if the To Be a Good Woman content would ever be released from Patreon to YouTube. It actually was released to YouTube.
Yeah, so I am working on revising the Good Woman content. We have so much going on.
Yeah, part 2.
I have so much going on. So many projects. And like I focus on one project. I'm like, oh, okay, the soaps. And I'm like, okay, ordering stuff for the soaps. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to work on that thing for Patreon in 2 days. And then I focus on that. And then I get that done. And I'm like, oh, okay, I need to work on the self-help journal that I've been working on for the last 8 months. Then I focus on that and nothing ever gets done.
Right. It's because you don't prioritize your day through a schedule. It's just
oh, my
ADHD
life is
to
so
the max.
chaotic right now. My
you
arm
need
is
to
broken.
order the bottles so that we can get all the oils and shit done because it's just sitting. And
I
it's
know,
ready
it's
to
in my
go.
Amazon cart along with all of the kitchen shit that we need to
Then
order.
we need to get that done today because
Okay.
I would like to have all that shit in before we go on vacation so that we can drop it when we get back. Arizona. It's
gonna
not
be
vacation.
$1,000.
We'll make it work.
Okay. Oh, but it's in the works, guys. Once the office is ready. Oh man, me crying has made my throat feel super weird, and now that it's like itchy. My goodness. I've moved the email. So everybody knows the email is now out of my folder. It cannot be questioned.
So before we move on to the next one, I'm going to plug Patreon, and I hate to be the salesman, but you guys are missing a lot of content. You're missing a lot of really cool conversations with the Discord. There are weeks that we don't do very much. We do live every Sunday night for Patreon, and sometimes we do Zoom calls with our patrons. We are expediting Patreon emails.
We are.
So that, like, I think episode 217 was just recorded yesterday, and all of those emails were Patreon emails. So we are doing that. If you guys want to get extra content that is fun content, like her cooking videos or the baked conspiracy theories, we're working on a red flag, green flags medicated thing where we're going to be doing
Is that a red flag or a green
Yeah,
flag?
we're going to be doing it as from a card game, and I'm going to be the one asking the questions to the people who are with us who are highly medicated.
And we have to make the argument as to why it's a red flag or a green flag.
Right.
And you have to pick which side you're on.
Right. But that'll all be Patreon content. We're not releasing this shit to YouTube. And some of the baked conspiracy theories will end up being live, and we will have guests from our Patreon community into the studio for that. So
Yep.
there's a lot. I highly recommend that if you can save yourself 2 Starbucks drinks a week or just back off on some cigarettes, it's $15 a month.
Yeah, we had somebody quit buying. Well, she quit smoking, but she said 1 pack of cigarettes is a monthly Patreon.
2 days of cigarettes was $16 is what she said.
Yeah, so 2 days worth got her a month of Patreon.
Yep.
Yep. You want to do another email?
Yeah.
This one's called Fiancés. I feel so fancy saying fiance.
Yeah.
This is my fiance. Such a stupid word, though.
It is.
Get married.
Right.
Oh, holy shit. Thank you for the galaxy.
Before you move on, Dominique asked how... I'm sorry, not Dominique. Nope, where'd it go?
Donovan, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Everyone else who has sent gifts, thank you.
Layla Ann said, how do I watch the Patreon lives? You have to subscribe to Patreon. Once you subscribe to Patreon, if you're on the $15 tier or higher, it gets posted to the Patreon page or to the Discord every Sunday night. And it's normally done right after we do our live stream on Sundays. We go live at 6 from 6 to 8 or 6 to 7:30, and then we go live on Patreon from 8 to 9 or however late it takes to do the Zoom calls. We may change that once we get into the new studio because we'll have no interruptions from a dance studio next door, so the schedule may change a little bit so that people who live in other countries will not have to stay up until fucking midnight to watch us. But
right.
So
Zach
said this is an email.
I'm ready. I lied. I'm going to take a hit first, but I want to let you know this before I forget because I will forget, and I've tried to tell you this 3 times and I've forgotten.
Okay.
Once we have everything set up at the studio, I want to spend at least 3 or 4 days there to get that work done that I'm not getting done at the house because I get so sidetracked with other things.
Are you going to be, like all your notebooks and shit?
My notebooks, working on the Good Woman video.
That's fine.
All of that.
We're not doing anything else until Sunday. We're not recording. I'm not editing. I got everything done yesterday. So the sole focus can be the studio after the kids get dropped off tomorrow.
Okay.
So we have all weekend to get all of that done. Jacob's coming tonight to help me move the rest of the big shit. And I should be able to get everything else out of here today. So how do I email you guys? You send it to tobebetterco@gmail.com. You guys that are asking questions like that, make sure you're paying attention to the chat because the moderators are on top of answering these questions so that we don't have to interrupt while we're reading. We did get a super chat. Let me see if that popped up into the Discord so that I can read that to you guys before we get into the next. It said, Peaches, I saw your video about the damsel in distress and died laughing at the lizard judging you silently, majestically for falling on your bum trying to take his picture.
Yeah.
That came from Twitch.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. I'm so glad somebody actually saw that video.
The super chat I missed came from Julie Rocks. It said, watching the growth and change in you two over the last year has exponentially changed my emotionally charged state, particularly Chris. Thank you. Much more responding over reacting. You are leading by example. That was my biggest takeaway, is to learn to just fucking slow down and pause.
Yeah. I think that was a big deal for you too, because you do get worked up and jump.
Right. Well, I know this is not an excuse. I know why that's a thing. It comes from the massive amount of abuse as a child.
Right.
It comes from being homeless and it comes from being in prison. Like,
yeah.
I have had fight or flight. That's been my
Your whole
only
life.
existence for a very long time, and I don't have that anymore. And I don't have to worry about being in fight or flight with you. I don't have to defend myself. If I fucked up, I can just say, hey, I did that. And you'd be like, okay, and that's the end of it. You don't berate me. You don't talk down to me. It doesn't become a 5-hour fucking, you're a piece of shit conversation. Like,
Damn, bro, that sucks.
yeah.
Sucks right now. Let's get over it.
Right.
Give you a little kiss on your head. Move on.
Looking forward to knowing more about the meetup in AZ. The meetup, that Arizona meetup is the 27th. The location will be posted to Discord the day or two before. We got to get a head count. And then once we have a head count, I have to find a location that's going to be able to handle that many people with a reservation, because I'm not trying to fucking just show up somewhere with 30 people and be like, hey guys, need a table for 30.
No, right?
Right. All right, let's bang out this email. Fiancés. Fiancé?
Me? It says fiancés.
Okay. So it's plural.
Yes. Me and my fiance have been together for 2 years. I feel like I should add that he is 37 years older than me.
What? Did you say 37?
37, 37.
Oh, okay.
Just 1 second. So sorry, guys.
I don't think I'm ready for this.
How old are they? 37 years. If she's just at 20,
He's 57.
he's 57.
I'm not
wild.
knocking it. I mean, if they're happy, they're happy. That's just
That's a lot.
that's gonna be a whole lot of loneliness in the last half of your life.
Yeah. I'm not sure you'll be able to understand our situation, but I'm reaching out in the beginning. But I'm reaching out, period. In the beginning, it was great. Now we are in the roommate phase. He goes to work, and I stay home with our son and his grandson. When he comes home, it's just all downhill. I could be in the best mood, and he just makes me feel like shit if I forget to do the dishes or put the laundry away or just stuff like that. Oh, I can tell this person's young.
I'm gonna pause you for a minute.
Okay.
Somebody on Twitch, Jay Martini, said if we need any information for Arizona, that they live in Scottsdale. We will actually be in Scottsdale interviewing Mark Driscoll on the 26th. So Jay Martini in Twitch, please send an email to us, and just so that I have your contact information, because we have a very long morning and I'm going to want to eat before we have to drive back to Sedona. So just email us, please. I'll get back to you about that later. Go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, an example, guys. When he comes home, it's just all downhill. I could be in the best mood, and he just makes me feel like shit if I forget to do the dishes or put the laundry away or just stuff like that. What does he do to make her feel like shit? Because nobody can make you feel anything. They do something, you perceive it, and you go, oh, that hurt my feelings.
Right. That is definitely a perception thing.
Right.
I'm also curious how the interaction is when he gets home.
Right. Is it like, hey, babe, missed you? How was work?
Right.
Or is it just silence? Is it things that he says? Is it his actions? Is it his body language? Is it his tone? It could be so much. This is the kind of detail that we need, guys. Did he say, hey, honey, but it sounded like fuck you?
Right.
Like, back to the email. It's like he doesn't get that I'm exhausted. I watch a 4-year-old and my 8-month-old all day. You mean our 8-month-old? Our 8-month-old.
Well, we don't know.
Well, she said our son and his grandson. And the first paragraph.
Okay.
So it went from being our son to my 8-month-old. But that's not even the things that get to me. It's when we argue about his daughter that get to me. Okay, so if that doesn't bother you, why did you say it?
Right. Why is it included if that's not relevant?
Right. Is that just attention seeking? Is that just wanting to be heard? A week ago, his daughter came to pick up his grandson. I was in the bedroom getting our son to sleep, and everyone knew what I was doing. So what happened next pissed me off. I had the baby about to sleep, and all I heard was the kids started screaming. Of course, it was my fiance's grandkids, and this went on for a while. Finally got the baby asleep, and I said something to his daughter. All I said was, "Are you watching your kids?" And that was it.
Okay, so I have to pause you.
Well, there's one more sentence. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
You would have thought that I told her to go get fucked.
So, wait. Oh, okay. Now,
the way that she reacted.
Now I have other questions.
Right.
Okay.
Are you thinking?
No, fucking Jesus.
Okay.
Who's the older person in the relationship?
The gentleman. 37 years older.
Okay. Is he the one writing in?
No, she is.
So then who did she mean she said to go get fucked? Read that last sentence again.
So his daughter was over. So her stepdaughter.
Okay. We don't know how old she is. Okay.
No, we don't
okay.
know. But
okay, that makes sense.
She takes care or watches their grandson. Her step-grandson?
Right. Well, it's not step-grandson yet, but that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about. She keeps saying my kids and your kids.
Right.
If you were engaged to be married, that's not the case anymore.
Right. That's our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to act accordingly. You're going to be a bonus parent to these children. I'm also curious what the age difference is between his daughter and her.
Yeah. There's a lot in this. So to know that you're in the bedroom trying to put a baby to sleep, kids are going to be kids. If I made $1 for every time I said, quit yelling in the house, we don't yell in the house, quiet voices, we're inside the house.
We would be fully retired by now.
Living in Bali or something.
Yep.
So I can understand that it's frustrating. Now, if they're being above the top, like screeching like parakeets, and they're throwing things, and that's keeping the kid up, I can understand that frustration. But I would walk out and be like, hey, baby's almost asleep. Can we maybe go outside? Can we chill out, get lunch? There's steps to solution. You can't just expect people to solve problems, especially if they don't know that you have one with them.
You address any parent with your kids,
Oh, yeah.
it's game on.
Yeah.
Parents are going to defend their children.
Yeah.
And because we are a frail society that don't actually have to worry about violence that much anymore or being physically attacked, your kids is an attack on a lot of fucking parents.
Yeah.
So her verbiage, the way that she worded that is a problem.
Yeah, I would have. Our kids are fairly well behaved. They do have their moments, like if they get hyped up and they're like, playtime, and they're just in the fucking mode every once in a while. But when we tell them to calm down, it's like, okay, deep breaths, we're transitioning, and now we're inside, and they're pretty even keel. If we were somewhere and one of your family members, a random family member, came up to me and said, are you watching your kids? Are you even watching your kids? Yeah, I would get a little defensive on that. Can you elaborate on that for me? What do you mean, am I watching my kids? My eyes and my children. So what do you mean?
How should that have been worded? Let's do that. Let's I versus you statement for a second.
So
Because you're going to be angry if your kid's almost asleep and now your kid's wide awake again.
right.
Let's also compound the fact that this is their house.
Right.
And those people are a guest in the house and is
Right.
disrupting all of that.
So we don't know their situation. I only know our situation. I know that you would handle that. If I'm away trying to put a child to bed and we have guests over, you would be on top of like, hey guys, it's nap time for our child. We need to cool it down or you're going to have to leave. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. If you weren't home and I had to handle this situation, the first time it happens, I'm walking outside with the baby. I am not going to let it go and just continue to get pissed off because he's almost asleep and then somebody screams and now he's awake. At that point, if you're just ignoring the problem and hoping that he'll fall asleep anyway, you're part of the problem. You're the mom. Get up, walk out and say, hey, can we quiet down a little bit? It's a little too noisy. He was just almost asleep and somebody screamed. A little too much right now. Second time it happens is, okay, you guys need to leave.
Yeah.
We're not playing this game. I came out here. I asked you politely.
I don't understand why they didn't make them leave before the kid went to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, unless the bedtime is like 7:00 and like they're having dinner or whatever, playing cards or something, I can understand that. But those kids should be somewhere else if the baby's going to sleep.
Right.
I maybe because I have been around people who have very large families. When you have guests over like that, it's a free for all until they leave, and then everyone goes to bed after the fact because the kids will be fucking exhausted by then and they're going to sleep all night.
Bedtime by 4:00.
So, but again, that's a baby. That's a different scenario, I guess. I agree with you though. I would have walked out there and been like, guys, the baby's almost asleep. I know that the kids are excited and having fun, but can you take them outside?
Like
Something.
we need a solution.
Right.
It's either we fix this or you leave.
I probably would have just asked them to leave.
Yeah.
At that point, realistically, like, hey guys, we're trying to put the baby to bed and your kids are still super wound up and that's cool. But like our kid is going to be sleeping. And if I get him to sleep and they continue to scream and yell like that, I'm going to be up all night.
Yeah. Don't got to go home, but can't be here.
Right. So thanks for coming over. We really appreciate it. See you next Tuesday. Got to go.
Smooches.
Yep.
So the last thing I want to touch on is her actually saying, are you watching your kids? A lot of people, like you said, would take that as go get fucked.
Absolutely.
You're a problem. So as the emailer, I would recommend reevaluating the way you talk to people, because that just is combative right off. You can tell that you are agitated or pissed off. And just reading that, I can tell you have a problem.
Right.
Continue reading.
Yes.
My fiance started yelling at me after they left, telling me that it's not my place to say something like that. So I told him if he wasn't going to say something to her, I was going to. Every time they come over, she never watches them. My fiance acknowledged that I was right, but still stayed mad at me. So mad that he even slept on the couch. The next morning, he woke up to go to work, and I just asked him what time he was coming back, and he just walked out on me. I cried all morning, then has the audacity to come back and act like nothing happened.
So he's treating her the way he would treat his kid. He's treating her like a child.
Yeah.
This age gap. So this is one of those things that, like, they probably had really good sex in the beginning and like a really dope relationship, and she saw a caretaker and like somebody who could support her financially and like do that.
Right.
And probably got solidified, and neither one of them realized how much of a maturity thing is going to be there. Because if she's 20 years old and he's 57, she's a child still to him.
She is, yeah. Anyone under 25 is still a child to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have consent and you're an adult, but maturity and like just everything wise, you still got a lot to go through.
I would also like to touch on she didn't have a right to say anything to them, or however that was worded. Bitch, I live here.
Right.
You don't. This is my house.
Yeah.
I personally have a hard time with that. Mm-hmm. My home is my sanctuary. It is the one place that I can go and have peace in this fucking world of chaos. And I still have chaos at home, but it's controlled chaos, and it's chaos that I allow. Somebody comes into my house and the disrespect is loud, even if it's quiet.
Yeah.
You got to fucking go. You're not welcome here anymore.
I heard that whisper. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yep, I'll get up and open the door and be like, hey guys, thanks. It's been nice having you.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what? I'm like, get the fuck out of my house.
I'll tie up your laces for you.
Yeah. Yep. It's Katie said, thankful now I'm 26. Woo, I made the cut. She doesn't mean that you're still a child. It means that from 18 to 25, Peaches and I view that you are in that transition from child to adult.
It's a massive growth period.
Right.
And some people don't experience the growth in that period. They just continue being a child.
Yep. Yep.
The kids know that I am rushing them when I start dressing them and they don't dress themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to fucking leave. Come on. To finish off the email, to sum everything up, I feel like I can do nothing right for this man. I'm a loyal stay-at-home mom, and I feel like he doesn't want that because everything is a fight with him. Well, with you saying, are you even watching your kids, it sounds like you're picking fights.
With them. Right.
Yeah.
Not with him, but with the daughter and the kid.
Right, and that's causing...
conflict between a man and his daughter.
Yeah.
And you're not married yet.
You're not. They have an 8-month-old baby, though.
It's still not married yet. That changes things. In my opinion, it changes things. That baby could have been an oops.
Yeah, it could have been, but now this man is tied to this woman.
Yeah.
Not marriage, but financially, yeah, for the next 18 years, especially if he has good money. He's 37 years older than her.
But he's tied to the child, not to the woman.
But she could get alimony.
Well, child support. They're not
Whatever.
married yet. She could. You're absolutely right. She could.
What do they call it? To maintain a lifestyle?
It's alimony.
Is that what alimony is?
Yeah. But that also, in some states, that also comes into how long that person's not been working.
Right.
There's different laws from different state to state. The point that I was trying to make, though, is that his bond will be with that child, not with that woman if they break up, because they are not married. They could just break up. And he has a bond with his daughter. So, like, there is a father bond thing there. And until they get married, that whole we've created a new family thing doesn't really take place. And though his daughter is now an adult, he needs to be siding with his wife when they are married about the kid and the grandkid. Like, these are my kids, but this is my wife. You're going to respect her.
Right.
You know, there are men out there who date younger women who have kids that are teenagers or that are adults that are men. And, you know, the boy might get disrespectful and the old man's be like, look, I know that's your mom, but that's my wife. You keep talking like that, you're going to be fucking eating through a straw for a while. Like, that's very much a thing for people, but it's not like that with everyone. So.
Right.
We don't know how old she was. We don't know how old he is. We just know there's a 37-year age gap. That's a generational difference.
It is.
Yeah.
TikTok just made me do a verification to keep my live going.
Yeah, to make sure that you're still there. That's probably why it kicked you off last week.
That is absolutely insane. So what about all these TikTokers that I see who are just sleeping on lives?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to pause you for a minute. Sabrina said the moment the frontal lobe was fully developed, I felt that change, LOL, like hardcore felt it. That's actually been disproven. That whole frontal lobe not being developed properly all the way and it being that big of a decision-making process, blah, 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 that whole thing that people have been spewing over the internet for the last 5 or 6 months has been debunked.
I'm going to be honest, I really trust nothing on the internet.
Yeah.
I always do research.
Yeah. And if that was the case, that you are not able to make proper decisions until you are 25 years old because of your frontal lobe, you shouldn't be able to join the military, you shouldn't be able to vote. Like, there's a whole lot of things that should not be able to happen if that was the case. But was that the end of the email? Yeah, my partner and I are 11 years apart, and while personality we are similar, he has a ton more life experience than I do. Yeah, that's the thing.
Oopsie daisies.
You should move over so you're actually in the shot of the camera. Oh, you're smoking.
Yeah, so it's not on TikTok. It hurts for me to hold the fan.
Gotcha.
So. Adapting. See, I can adapt really well.
She just said, Lorna said, I think they're doing the authenticator thing so that people don't sleep for monetization. I really think that 25-year-old bullshit, I think that it comes down to that life experience it's had from 18 to 25 because you're no longer being taken care of by your parents. Yep. I mean, some people are, but like you should be getting into the workforce, finishing college, getting your own place, like starting to establish a life for yourself. It's a different time frame, and you have a lot of life lessons that you're going to learn in that time frame that you otherwise wouldn't have learned.
Thank you for the gifts on TikTok, guys.
Kim said that I think there's got to be something to that because I felt a change from 20 to 30. I'm not saying that there's not a growth that happens. 20 to 30s. So my 15 to 25 was the worst decade of my life.
Yeah.
25 to 35, I saw a whole lot of change from 30 to 35. And from 30 to 40, when we're breaking it down, like that was the best decade ever. And now I'm 43 and like this decade is turning out to be fucking gangster. You know what I mean? So like you are going to evolve and like life gets different because you view things through a more mature mindset, I think. Would you like to do another one?
No.
You do some Q&As?
Yeah, let's do some Q&As. I need some brain activity.
Okay. We have 400 people watching.
400 people. Hello,
we
400 people.
Haven't had 400 people in a chat in a while or in a live.
Welcome.
Hey, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. We are trying so fucking hard to hit 250,000 this year.
250.
I also am curious if there's a way to stream our live streams to Spreaker so that it can go live while we're on Spotify.
Oh.
That's something we need to research.
We go live on Spotify?
I don't know if we can. That's what I'm saying. Like if we can somehow make it go live through Restream the way that we do through Twitch and YouTube, it would be very cool to be able to make it go live on Spreaker. How people are asking how your arm is.
My arm hurts. It's at that stage where it's very uncomfortable and I'm lazy about taking Advil.
Brooke asked where you get your dresses from.
All over the place. Walmart. People give them to me.
Are you gonna, how much have you bought on that, your new clothing order?
My new clothing order? I have ordered 2 things. I am so indecisive. I don't want to waste money, and I'm buying good quality clothes this time.
Yeah.
I'm spending like $200 to $300 on a dress.
Not buying from Shein.
Right. I also bought clothes off of Amazon. Like, I'm almost certain that this dress is from Amazon. Almost certain, yeah, that this dress is from Amazon. And it fits nice. It's comfortable. But I want nice clothes.
Have you figured out what you want to wear for the photo shoot? Have you ordered that yet? Because you know that kind of needs to happen.
I have not ordered it yet.
We leave in, I think, 12 days.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry, 11.
In 11 days?
Time's ticking. Sometime next week, we have to go to a mall so that I can find clothes.
I might have to do it at a mall.
I want to go to a Levi's store and buy like a jean vest.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like cover it in punk rock patches.
Hell yeah.
And then get like a not a cowboy hat, but like with a flat build hat, kind of like my Stetson that I have.
Oh, you're gonna look so hot.
But I would need to buy the That's a lot of work. I don't think it's gonna make it for this photo shoot. I could probably buy one that's worn and already dingy and gross, but I don't want to do that.
I've been thinking about getting like a 2-piece set with like a really flowy skirt.
Yeah.
I'm thinking white.
You're gonna go looking all fucking like feminine,
like
flowy,
a goddess.
and I'm gonna go looking like a scumbag.
No, you're gonna look so good.
That's funny.
I am here for our dynamic of like the divine feminine goddess and the outlaw badass biker dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabrina, have you already found somebody to do your maternity photos? We have a photographer in Tampa that we're working with. Oh, did I tell you that I talked to Jacob yesterday about, hang on, can y'all do a video on how to break down your emotions and figure out exactly what your emotion is? Yes, that's coming. That's part of the I versus you statement videos that we're going to be doing. There's going to be a whole lot of that. Anyways, I talked to Jacob a little bit last night about what he's doing for work and if he's ever done video work or photography work. And he's like, I have a basic understanding of photography. He's like, but as you could tell with the conspiracy theory, he's like, I'm really good with research and I'm not lazy about it. He's like, I did that for fun. Could you imagine what I would do if I was getting paid for it? So I may be able to work with him into doing photo work so that he can do behind the scenes shit for us while we travel, because Jacob's traveled with me.
Right.
I've spent weeks in the desert with him. So like, I think that would be super cool. I just don't want to I can't afford to pay him a full-time job, but I can afford to pay him as we go kind of thing.
I love that. I love that he's willing to do that.
Yeah, me too. I will send you the photographer that we have in Tampa, Sabrina. I'll do it when we're done with this. She's not super expensive in comparison. We talked to, oh my God. I found a photographer in California near Joshua Tree that wanted $6,000 to do a 1-hour boudoir shoot with us. $6,000.
Out of his damn mind. And that's not even buying the photos.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I'll just set up my little clicker. Take my own damn pictures.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could do that.
Yeah.
We've done it. All the dope photos that we have of us, I've done with it with a tripod and a trigger. I think that anything over $1,000 to $2,000, like depending on the time of the shoot and what you're getting, is expensive. Like it's too much for boudoir, and I've done that. With that, if you were doing what'd you do? Did you hurt yourself?
It just hurts.
If I did $2,000 for a boudoir shoot, I would want like 300 photos.
I want all of them.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to give you their raw files. If I could find a photographer that would give me their raw so that I could edit them,
I will pay you more for that.
Game on. Right? I'll pay you the same as your normal fee, but I'll do the editing. People aren't going to give you the raw photos though, because they don't want you to see how shitty their pictures are. Yep. There's someone in Lake City who does pictures, but they're like $2,000 for 30 minutes. The lady that I'm talking to will do your maternity shoot for $650. She's in Tampa. So you may have to drive to Tampa. She has a studio, but I would definitely reach out to her. I'll give you her information, Sabrina. Don't worry. You may have to remind me later, but thanks to Peaches, I have started being more in my feminine and diving into homesteading and how to make butter from scratch.
I love that. I told you people would watch a video about me making butter.
Yeah. I told our friend April in California yesterday that, because I sent her the TikTok about the new house.
Yeah.
And she was like, kitchen content. She's like, people are going to fucking love that. She's like, people love watching cooking videos. She was like, and your girl is beautiful and funny. Yeah.
I'm so stoked about this.
Peyton said, I've had so much fun in the Discord recently being able to play COD and Minecraft with y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm not going to lie, Peyton, you were much better at Call of Duty than I expected you to be.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That exceeds my expectations. Good for you, Peyton.
Yep. Yep.
Are we playing tonight?
If I can get done in time, I would like to play. I didn't even get home last night until after
I was
10:30.
asleep.
It was 11 o'clock when I walked in.
I had no idea what
10:45.
At some point, you were like, you need to stretch out on the couch, and I
Well,
did that.
I woke you up because you were in a ball with the recliner open.
Yeah.
And I was like, babe, I'm not even like, I have to wind down still and I still have to edit. I'm not going to go to bed for a while. Why don't you actually go to bed? And you're like, no, I will stay on the couch. And I'm like, okay, then you need to lay on the couch and not on a ball because you're going to wake up and not be able to move tomorrow. But you stretched out and I edited from 11 to 2 and then went to bed. So how do I show intimacy and appreciate my husband in a nerdy way? Depends on your nerdums.
Have you seen that TikTok of the woman who set up like an arcade or movie theater thing for her man?
I did see that where she had credits and they were smooches.
Yeah. I have something like that planned and it's so good, but it's so elaborate. I need you to leave the house for like 6 hours.
Yeah. So with that nerdy thing, like if your man is super into D&D, you could be like a sexy rogue. You just need a cowl.
Yeah.
You can buy one off Etsy, like a nice one off Etsy that you can then use for cosplay later. And if your man has weird kink, you could do like knife play and like all kinds of weird shit with that. Like it could be a thing. You just have to figure out what the nerdums are. And once you figure out what the nerdums are, you can then go from that. I don't know. I'm a big fucking dork though. My wife and I love y'all streams helps our marriage and deal with our demon-in-laws. Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Hey, I reached out to the monster-in-law last night. I sent her an email at like 11:30 and was like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Just checking in. Haven't heard that yet. Haven't heard back yet. Zombies is so much fun to watch, especially higher rounds and absolute chaos. We fucking suck at that game. We get into the orange zone and we die.
I like to think I do really good. I was picking you guys up in yellow zone. Orange zone, whatever it's called.
Look, we understand that you have a strong back from carrying me and Zach, but don't rub it in.
I'm not. I suck, but I don't think I suck the most.
Yeah, no, I would say that that's me. I'm the one that sucks the most. I am not good at video games.
Yeah, it might be a coordination thing.
You know what I want to get next?
What?
Helldivers 2.
What is that?
It's like playing Starship Troopers.
Oh, okay.
It's just a stupid fucking shoot alien game. But everyone that I know that I'm like, hey, we're Twitch streaming now. They're like, you got to get Helldivers 2. So now we're going to have to get that. Jacob said that that's his favorite game right now.
I want to do horror games.
Yeah. I will bite the bullet and do that once or twice, but
would you watch me play horror games?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be fun?
Yeah.
I would have fun if you sat there with me and got scared.
I don't want to be scared though. That's the problem.
Okay, so
if we're going to do it, I'm going to have to do it with you. Luckily, we'll be in the same room.
We will be.
But
I want to get little LED lights that I can change the color of them depending on what game we're playing.
We have that LED bar.
No, I want like the strips.
Yeah.
If we're playing like a horror game in hell, I want the room to be red. Or like if we're playing Outlast, I want to make it green. Like I'm looking through the recording, the little camcorder thing. Yeah.
Angelica said, Peaches, I have an apothecary book recommendation for you if you're interested. I'm so excited for you.
Yes.
You guys can email that kind of stuff to us. It's Becky Marie said, hi, Chris and Peaches. I'm currently listening to you at work. As usual, just want to say thank you for all that you do. I wish you guys the best. Thank you for that. Thank you for the super chats, guys. It means a lot. Somebody else asked, what time do we play? We normally get on, when we don't have the kids, we normally get on around 6 or 7. When we have the kids, it's 8 to 10. And we don't stay on super long, but it is on Twitch. It's To Be Better podcast. I actually, Lorna and Danish have been super fucking godsends in terms of getting Twitch set up. Because I didn't have to worry about it and was able to do other shit in our life. But
they're now grouped in with the wizards. They are wizards.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So we bought an overlay system now. So I'm waiting on the guy for that we bought that from to get back to us, but we saw samples this morning. I'm pretty excited about that too. So Zach said, got to get that Blair Witch lighting for horror games.
Yes.
Do you think if your husband sees a woman at a 10 out of his league and sexually so desirable and literally pushes for divorce because of the feeling she gives and nothing I do gives him that feeling, okay, so punctuation matters. I understand there's only so many characters, but
that was a lot for me to take in. Okay, so this is a married woman who is with a man who is now wanting to be with like his dream girl. I sent you a TikTok the other morning. This guy claims that men separate women into 4 separate categories.
Yeah, I tried to watch that, but with his, I could not get past the first 15 seconds of that video because of the way he spoke.
Okay. So the first category is pretty much like, you're crazy. I want nothing to do with you. Second one is like the good enough level where like he'll buy you flowers and he'll buy you chocolates on your birthday and Christmas, but he doesn't go out of his way to do things for you, like little surprise things, like the way you do chocolates for me or the edible arrangements. So like you're good enough for him to perform on the important days, but not
all the time.
All the time. The third category was dream girl, like 10 out of 10, check every box. He's going to go above and beyond to make sure that this his woman's happy. And then the fourth one was, oh fuck, what was the fourth one?
Yeah, I was like, how did it go above 3? Like that stops there for me.
Because, well, he said that for women, like I said, I don't know if any of this is true or not, but he said you want to be the dream girl that he'll go above and beyond for and all that.
Okay.
But let me, because I sent it to you, I can just pull it up real quick.
Well, while you're looking for that, somebody asked if we have any new information on the meet and greet. We do have a thread in Discord for that for the Tampa meet and greet in May. We've locked down the date, although we were going to do Dave & Buster's and we were going to do Tampa. That may have changed because the Dave & Buster's experience would have been $150 per person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that they can't afford that. So we found a mini golf place that is not in Tampa, that's closer to us. That might be a thing because they have mini golf, ice cream, and then they also have a bar with like a restaurant attached to it. So like there's an arcade there, and that might be a thing because then it's just people paying for mini golf. And then obviously their travel to get there. So we're working on that.
So I have it pulled up. And this is why I always have things in front of me because I can never remember anything verbatim. So it's 5 categories that men put women in while dating. And the first one is the desperate girl. So this is the girl that a lot of people term as the pick-me, who she changes into a different person when men are around because she wants all of their attention and she's going to hurt people's feelings or say snarky shit just to get a laugh out of the men that she finds attractive and all that kind of stuff.
That's a form of narcissism.
I believe that.
It is.
I believe that. So there is the desperate girl. Category number 2 is the good time girl. So the one that they'll call Friday and Saturday nights for a booty call.
For a good time, but not all the time.
Right.
Got it.
Going out for drinks. Third category is the good enough girl. So that's the one where you're good enough for the important days, but he's not going to go out of his way to go above and beyond for surprise gifts and all that kind of shit. Then there is the dream girl level where he'll cherish you, treat you like, oh, that's the way that you treat me. I'm going to be honest. I saw that level and I closed out. I was like, I don't care what the 5th one is. I'm my husband's dream girl.
That's funny. The 5th one is the out of the league girl is what somebody
said. Is
it
the out of the league girl?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is. I lied because I went back and I finished it because it's something about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Out of the league girl is the 5th one, to where she has like prestige, she has knowledge, she maybe came from money, she had more like schooling. And Jay-Z, because he inferior inferior to that, she is out of his league. He goes and cheats and like does things to undermine her. So the out of the league woman is also not going to be treated well.
Do you think that that's I have a whole lot of thoughts on that. I'm not even going to get into that.
No.
We can talk about that later and then maybe redo that conversation live, but there's a lot I need to work through with that, so I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
Alex Smiley for $10 said, I'm finally properly supporting on more platforms. Been in Patreon for a while, but finally became a proper member here and on Twitch. Y'all are amazing. Also want to say, love the zombie streams.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for all of that support. That's dope.
Zombie streams are going to get a lot more fun when you'll be able to see our faces.
Oh, yeah. My face is stupid.
Which should be happening at some point this weekend because Comcast will be at the house on Thursday to set up the internet for us. When we end this live stream, everything in this room is getting broken down and put in the back of my truck and driven to the house.
Yeah.
So, Peacekeeper Arms said, glad this is still going. I thought I missed it. Yep, we're here for a little bit longer. Alyssa said the new clothes, keeping up with dressing and stuff. Oh, wait, that must be an ongoing thing. I missed a whole lot of that. I'm not going to scroll back up for it. Peaches play Visage.
Visage?
Visage, V-I-S-A-G-E.
Isn't Visage like a mask?
I don't know.
I'm confused.
Darth Sindrin said, I don't agree with that at all. My woman was out of my league and I didn't do anything like that. I think that's because you don't have... I think it's a personality flaw in Jay-Z, and that's what I want to get into. But I also disagree. I think that If somebody was able to land the out of the league woman, why wouldn't you try to make sure that you are maintaining that? Because if they choose you,
Right.
it's a choice. They
Yeah.
chose you.
I think that it's a lack of understanding on the choosee's end. Like they got chosen, but they don't recognize that they're so insecure that they're worried about the woman being taken away.
Right.
But I think that you think I'm out of your league,
Yes, I do.
but you also tell me that I'm your dream girl.
You are, which is
So-
why I do the things that I do.
Right.
Because I know the moment you don't want to be here anymore, you won't be.
Right.
I'm not an idiot. Slightly dumb, but
you're
I'm not an idiot.
You're not stupid.
Isabel Sturgis said, praying that you heal soon, Peaches. Just wanted to say, hey, and happy hump day.
Thank you. I was going somewhere with that.
You were saying that you're my dream girl, and I said that you're out of my league.
I don't remember where I was going.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Zach asked if I got my PC sorted. I did not, because I don't know if I actually want to spend the money to buy another computer. I think that we're probably going to have to, but until we get situated in this house and I have everything set up the way that I want it to be, I don't want to spend any money.
Visage is a game.
Yep.
I'm over here like, I'm not Alexa. I'm not going to start singing. No, I might, if you ask nicely. Okay, it's a game. Gotcha.
Out of your league doesn't exist. That's an insecurity issue.
No, I believe out of your league exists.
I believe, yeah, too. I don't like the terminology
Right.
because it does sound insecure, talking about us,
Right.
and there is an insecurity there. I own that. I have a whole lot of like self-esteem issues. I'm a fucking mess inside. I do what I do, and like I give you guys a part of me that is true, and
Yeah.
like, but I do not feel like I'm good enough for you. Just my past alone makes me feel that I'm not good enough for you. So
Okay.
there is an out of a league scenario with me that is an insecurity there. But I also think that there's compatibility issues.
Right.
Like if you have a 150 IQ, you're not going to date somebody who's got a 70 IQ. That
Right.
it just doesn't mesh. And I think that when people say out of your league, they normally mean
We're
that,
on
like,
different tiers.
like, bro, you're 480 pounds and like you smell of pizza, Cheetos, and coffee. She's 170 pounds, makes $600,000 a year, and is fucking dressed in a business suit. You guys aren't going to work.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm hungry. My tummy's yelling at me.
Yeah, you want to wrap this up?
Kind of, because I need to eat. But no, because if we wrap this up, we're going to have to start moving shit, and I don't want to do that.
Well, you don't have to. I'm the one that has to move all this shit.
Yeah.
You can't carry nothing gimpy.
It makes me feel useless.
Yeah? Well,
I
I
know.
mean,
I saw my name. Can you scroll that up, please?
scroll this up over
Yeah,
here.
on that side. I saw my name. Oh, that was Julie.
Oh, man.
Wait, scroll back up.
Come on, woman.
Excuse me.
Where am I going?
I just recognized my own self-growth because I went, excuse me, instead of who the fuck are you talking to? Okay. Could you explain to me how I could regulate when a girlfriend calls my BF and I get insecure? I know it's my fear of abandonment from my past and my boyfriend is crazy about me, but I have a feeling that the girlfriend likes my boyfriend. Is it legit to not like this? I would need an email about that.
Yeah, I would too. But I think the issue there is not a you problem. I mean, it is obviously.
Right.
But the conversation needs to be had that you need to explain to your boyfriend that you have insecurity issues and that you believe this other girl likes you, and them being close and having those conversations you view as inappropriate and it's making you feel a certain way. It doesn't need to be attacks. It doesn't need to be you. It doesn't need to blame, criticism, or contempt. No guilt or shame, judgment. It needs to be about you, and you need to have a conversation about it.
I would also, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would also evaluate her actions outside of the phone calls. Like, is she being inappropriate when you guys are around each other? Is she blowing up his phone with text messages? Are they texting super late into the night after you guys are laying in bed already?
Yeah. I don't have female friends that I consistently interact with.
Right.
I have people in my life that I've known for a very long time that will text me out of the blue and we'll have a one-day conversation back and forth. And that's the end of it. I don't talk to them again for 2 or 3 weeks. And like, I think that's appropriate. They're not calling me at midnight. You know what I mean? Like, that is a normal friendship. It's no different than any other friendship that I have with people other than Jordan, Sean. You know what I mean? Because those people I talk to every fucking day.
Right.
But for the most part, that's a very different scenario. If this chick is blowing his phone up every fucking day and they're talking on the phone like they're besties, people, I don't know. I don't do that. I don't want to be on the phone with people like that.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with that in my relationship.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Bailey said, I feel like this deserves a whole email, but Peaches, I know you've helped me realize that it's okay to not be a career woman and to embrace my feminine and be a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom with a heart.
I love that.
You should send a thank you email or a follow-up or whatever. We're working on getting those out. She just sent a red rose.
Oh, thank you for the rose.
We're done. Let's wrap it up, babe.
Okie dokie.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See ya. Bye, TikTok.